Chasing Tales, Episode 60, Return to Cinder.
Welcome back to Chasing Tales. Now we know why Targa was freed, but will she succeed with Pink carefully watching Jack? Can Aislinn save Feline? Will Bayard survive? Let's dive back in and find out.
Talon and Aislinn stand in the Delphine's kitchen. Aislinn is crushing herbs in a mortar and pestle. Talon is reading through some notes.
What made you want to be a healer?
Well, I like helping.
Do you know anything about the aspects?
Only what Pink knows. She's the aspect of the healer. She thinks of it as the majors in tarot.
That's right, the archetypes. I wonder if it had anything to do with your choice.
Maybe subconsciously.
Aislinn looks longingly at Feline lying still on the table. Most of her body still blue, but a blood red has begun to cover her fingers.
Talon, what's happening to her hands?
Talon goes to look more closely while Aislinn continues to pound herbs to powder.
She's gone critical. We don't have but a couple of hours. Work harder, Aislinn. We have to get this potion finished. I'm going back to my house for the reagent. I'll be right back.
Pink and Jack appear inside their childhood home. Pink touches things as she passes, absorbing the noise of what was. Jack heads right to the library. He opens a bench near the door. Inside is a wooden box.
Jilly, look! It's still here!
He places the familiar box on the table. Pink comes into the huge space, suddenly making the connection to the library in Haven. It was the same feeling. The smell of tobacco still hung in the air. It smelled of old books and leather. She slumped into her favorite chair. I wonder if the stuff we didn't finish is still good. Jack opens the box and cracks the tube cleanly. Inside is a rolled joint. He hands it to her. The end self-lights as she inhales. Jack takes a hit as well. They sit and talk and smoke for a while, giggling like children over old times.
Yeah.
The inevitable lull of conversation happens. Pink looks around, feeling all right, but she can't seem to ignore the nagging, flashing light in her peripheral vision. Jack taps the magic ring on the table absently. He looks at the wall again.
I'm sure it's the west wall. That's where all the gates go.
He gets up and crosses the room.
Jilly, come help me look for a clue.
He stands staring at the west wall of the library, looking for anything suspicious. He pulls out several books, hoping to free a secret door. He tests the candlesticks. Nothing. He pushes on some of the shelf joints to see if they move.
Jilly?
Yeah?
Do you ever think about the time you lived in Haven? Your time as Helga, or as a fish?
Sure.
Do you miss those times before you knew what you were?
When it was just Jack and Pink and the band at the club?
Yeah.
Things seemed simpler then. I knew my place, I had something to reach for, things to do, a purpose. Jack pulls a book from the shelf. The Book of the Confluence. This covers all the aspects, but it is a basic book. Even so, he looks up the entries for their archetypes. He reads quietly for a while, smiling to himself.
You should come to the battlefield sometime. Maybe your purpose is there to balance the
what?
Shoot, I forgot. Too many hits, you know.
Jack slides the book into his satchel.
Found anything yet?
Not really. Did you find something?
Yeah, but nothing on the private library. I can't believe in all our childhood we never found it. I've got the munchies, though. I wish Sin was here.
Oof, I know. I could kill for a piece of lemon cake.
Is there a reason he can't make you one?
Jackie's in Haven.
So?
The coffee shop is closed since the town disappeared, remember?
And?
He waited while she put it together, smiling as she hit a dead end in her thinking. We can't just hop and drop.
Why not?
You can't hop while wearing the ring, and I can't if you don't, remember? She stroked her still flat belly in a spiral.
Oh yeah. Man, I was really itching for one of his brownies too.
Yeah, sorry. She waits for some time, only for him to come up short on a secret entrance. She remembered when she restored Brandish and found the keys, how they'd whispered to her. Jack, take off the ring. I bet the keys will tell you if you unblock yourself.
Go away then. I don't want you to be too close when the magic and the bad luck return.
She nods and travels by bubble to the opposite end of the giant house. She's standing in her mother's room. She takes the summoning chalk and writes the rune for all clear. It glows for a moment, then fades. Suddenly, she realizes something. There's no dust anywhere. Everything is super neat, too, no decay. The bed is made, and it's still warm. Someone was just here. She hears a noise and turns around. Aislinn sits near Feline, pounding herbs vigorously. He's been nervously watching the poison turn her skin red in creeping vines. Her veins throb visibly. The cold he had mourned before was nothing compared to this heat. Her skin pulses as the poison creeps toward her shoulders. She's on fire but isn't sweating. Her face is still placid and ice blue. Her feet are still grubby from running the house barefoot, blue and encased in a thin layer of ice.
Nothing I saw in war prepared me for this.
Rub her skin with the cave-in. It's time for you to cast again.
You sure you don't want to do it?
You give a certain impression in your devotion to decency.
Not like we can see you. Just touch her already. We all know you want to.
Talon comes into the room and stares at the progress of the poison.
Aislinn, do you want to be a healer? You can't hesitate. It's time.
He dips his fingers in the bowl with the cave-in juice. He swishes around the goo between his fingers. He casts heal and gingerly begins to coat her skin, beginning at her fingertips. He rolls his hand gently over her. He notices something odd. His hands leave a trail behind, a kind of neon pink against the blood red of her skin. Talon peeks over her shoulder.
And what's that supposed to mean?
Continue.
Aislinn begins again. He notices the odd shadow again as he makes contact. He goes back to work and lays it on more liberally. The glow brightens with more pressure, still gentle but brighter. He sways around her elbow, now no longer looking, focused on the casting. He gets to the shoulder and notices a difference in the texture of her skin. He opens his eyes. The edge of his hand is cooling rapidly. The glow along the edge of his hand on this side changes to red. It's very bright here. He reaches for more cave-in. He's now captured in the puzzle of the glow as it fades toward her feet.
Okay, this makes sense.
He watches the red poison cover her face and creep down her chest, swirling together from the shoulders to form a tornado. It tumbles over itself like a swirling drain to her heart. Aislinn puts his hands on her chest and casts his most powerful spell. He wrestles the poison, chasing it back with white-hot light. The light spreads, melting the thin layer of ice. Water beads up on her cool skin. The hair is raised from the chill as she shivers. Talon sweeps the blanket over her and keeps moving, watching Aislinn work. He's in the zone, his eyes closed, his wings open. Music has begun to come from him somehow. The glow is brighter, and the red now fades to a normal shade of pink, down her body to her fingertips. Talon was quick, quiet, and small for a reason. He'd placed the pots at the end of her fingers. The seething red poison drips into the pot at the end of each hand. Aislinn slumps into a nearby chair, almost crushing his wings. He rises up enough to tuck them away, and then sits again. Serana brings a glass of water.
Here, Aislinn.
Great work, Ace. I knew you had it in you.
What are you saying? This has never happened before. I've held her hand plenty of times. I've even kissed her.
Sure, it's your connection to her that was important. You believed you could. You had to.
Aislinn slumps down, elbows on his knees, watching Serana and Lucinda come to the table. They rub towels on her skin gently, like warming a puppy. Soon Feline begins to groan a little and rubs her face.
Oh, she's awake. That's my girl.
Her family celebrates.
Aislinn, you did it. You saved her.
Aislinn jolts to his feet to look at her, suddenly forgetting how exhausted he is.
Not me. The medicine and Talon did all the work.
Aislinn smiles humbly. He's just relieved he's not going to lose her. He thought guiltily of Pink. Sure, he understood her, but that didn't mean he felt love, only loyalty. He was her pet, not her equal, at least in her mind. Even if he loved Pink, it couldn't make a difference. He wanted to be with Feline every moment he was awake. There was a comfort in her he wasn't prepared to lose. Was it love or loneliness? Was it passion or purpose? Only time would tell. He felt her touch him. Body temperature now, but somehow he was on fire. He kissed her again.
Welcome back.
On Bell's base in his enclosure, Otto works. He hasn't slept or eaten in a couple of days, and has the generator pulled to pieces. They lay on a tarp surrounding the work area, neatly labeled. A small scientist stands watching carefully. He's dressed in fatigues and a dust suit.
Give me some room, please, Pella.
Oh, sorry. How do you know what to do? Are your goggles diagnostic?
In a way, they show the changes in the code.
You mean with that you can look in my machine and see the damage code without any special mathematics?
Yes. It is just one of the things it can do.
I would appreciate seeing your schematics for that.
I could consider it, if you let me see the math for the autoreactor plans.
Pella looks around to see if the guards are near.
What will Pink find in her old home? Will they locate the secret library? Will Pella give Otto forbidden technology? What is next for Aislinn and Feline? Find out in the next exciting episode of Chasing Tales. Exposition.
Hey everyone, Pink Salmon here. Thanks for listening. If you'd like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment, it would be much appreciated. Now it's time to thank the Buttermakers. I narrate and play myself. Gingy voices Aislinn. Guide plays Jack and Talon. Prony voices the announcer. Creeper plays Otto. Christine voices the Delphines. And Steve Dave plays Pella. All music and sound effects are sourced from YouTube, except for guns. Those come from Creeper. This is an original production, written and produced by Pink Salmon. The Gingerbread Man is story advisor. We hope you've enjoyed the story so far. If you'd like to support the project, you may donate to the links in the description. Thank you, and come back for the next episode of Chasing Tales. This is Pink, signing off. See you on the clip side.